Welcome to another episode of the Howard Sternum Show. Not to be confused with that phony Howard Stern. Anyways, today we have a special guest with us. He goes by the name of Jack Mcoobler. Yeah, thanks for having me. Okay, Jack, can you tell the audience members who haven't heard of you, like, what you do, like, what's your profession? Well, essentially, I am Shakespeare in the flesh. Walt Disney, Nike. I am the man who will bring modern art popularity. I am in the middle of working on a big project, Howard. It's great to hear such confidence from a guest. Most are quite humble. But what's this giant project you're working on, Jack? I'm glad you asked, Howard. Well, I've been collecting feces for years now. And what I will do is I'll compile all of these excrements, and I will superglue them and mold a figurine of Kanye West entirely made of poop. You've been collecting crap? Excuse me. Do not call my work of art crap. My substance is purely human excrement, and I will not have my life work be considered crap. Oh, well, I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to offend, but how did you get into the field of human excrement molding? Simple. Ever since I was a child, when I would make number 2, afterwards I would be so fascinated with what my body created. I would take the feces and I'd play with it. But that tiny hobby eventually turned into collecting every single solid bowel movement I had. And it soon grew bigger and bigger. The excrement grew bigger and bigger? No, my collecting habits grew bigger and bigger. I'd collect all of my family's feces, and I'd purposely clog the toilet, just so I can go in the bathroom and pretend I'm unclogging the toilet. And then, while I'm in there, I would take my family's excrement and I'd add them to my collection. Assuming that your parents were not okay with this collecting hobby, where would you hide all the feces? Didn't it smell? Yes, I'm gonna be honest with you, it did smell. It definitely smelled. But this led me to keep it in a vacuum-sealed bag hidden in our basement freezer. But in hindsight, this was actually a giant mistake because defrosting feces is quite a process. Alright, so I gotta ask. What is the furthest you've done in order to get the perfect log? Just like the dirtiest thing you've ever done, or like the most sneaky thing you've ever done to get the perfect log. Like what have you done? The nastiest thing I've ever done? I don't know. It was kind of fun. I wouldn't consider it nasty, but maybe someone else would. In high school, I used to follow the jocks around because, these guys were athletes, meaning their metabolisms were much higher. Higher metabolism equals more dense stool. So one day after school, I followed this kid that goes by the name of Jeff Jefferson, and he went to a porta potty. He was in that porta potty for over 10 minutes. And while he was in there, I got my scuba gear, and I jumped in for that perfect log. Wow, simply amazing. Such determination and dedication towards your work. Very respectable. So, like, what do your friends think about? Like, what do they think about you and your profession? In other words, how would they describe you? Well, I gotta be honest with you. I don't have any friends. I collect feces. Does it look like I have time to meet people? But if I did have friends, they'd probably call me a genius. The reincarnation of Jesus Christ. The Johann Gutenberg of modern art. And Stephen Hawking if he could walk. Jack, you should not say those two things about Jesus and Stephen Hawking. That's very offensive. We could get taken off the air. Well, Howard, you ain't got the answers. I do. You ain't got the answers. I'm Shakespeare in the flesh. Walt Disney, Nike, Google. If you spent $54 million on your own project... Well, we'll see you bright and early next morning. This has been the Howard Sternum Show, and we're signing off.